We're all back. Look at that. It's like magic. It's coming back. I'm getting it all back. Cool. How's everybody?
Good.
I've completed some weird ass projects, so I'm happy.
All right. I am getting my Forged in the Dark legs back. I've been calling it downtime, but it's actually free play. Right. But it's all coming back to me. It's been a while. I ran a handful of Scum and Villainy and Blades in the Dark. Blades in the Dark being my favorite. A little bit of an audio delay. No, it's my video feed for sure. I'm a software engineer. I got some software engineering stuff running in the background, and I think it's killing my camera stuff. I've been shutting stuff down, but can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're coming through super clear.
All right. No, I can see the delay myself when I do that. So.
Yeah, there's a lag in the video. Your mouth isn't lining up, but the voice is coming through just fine. So
Cool. All right. Before we jump to Daylight's headquarters, let's talk about Daylight a little bit. We've got a lot of interaction this first half. We know Rory's got some ties. We can probably flesh that out a little bit too. Out of the book, Daylight is a criminal organization, and I think they're one of the more violent, ferocious ones, if I remember this right. I'm trying to pull this up now.
Oh, there we go.
I think we talked a little bit about, but we can cover it again here, why they're on our corner, why they're in our district, right? And I think they have a stronghold here in our district, especially after the Three Canals Authority is pulled out, right? And I'll tell you, I don't know what the beef is between the Saltwalkers and Daylight. Saltwalkers are a enforcement faction on the side of authority and legal enforcement. Maybe more like contractors than police powers, where Daylight is a criminal organization.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we sort of talked about the Softwalkers being on more like on the vigilante side of things, like probably taking things too far, and they don't really care about doing things their way.
I'm open to suggestions, or we can kick the can down the road. Do we have an idea why they might be fighting?
I mean, other than law enforcement criminal?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably that easy. Like,
okay,
they moved in because of this power vacuum, and yeah, immediately butted heads.
All right, I'm good with that.
And you got one group that's trying to clean up the streets, and one group that's trying to make it run with blood. Yeah, they don't sound like they get along so good.
All right,
we know, like what, because they're criminals, but like, oh, drugs. That's right. They're mostly into drugs. Okay.
Yeah. But they are not nuanced at all whatsoever.
No. Oh yeah, that's right. They settle internal disputes through organized knife fights.
Yes.
Or are they set to the music?
You said knife fights, and I saw Judd smile a little bit.
It's just that's one way to settle an argument. Like it is going to be settled. Very likely, both people will die, but
well, it depends. I mean, are we knife fighting to like first blood? Are we knife fighting to the death? There's there's levels of knife fighting that don't all have to end in death.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm sure accidents never happen.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that it could be a polite knife fight. Like,
Well, I mean, it's a duel, right? Essentially, it's there's levels of dueling. It's just like fencing.
There was a time in the United States where it was very in vogue to duel with a knife in each hand and like your shirt, and that was it. And yeah, it was stopped because people died. Like both people just died a lot.
Well, we've got better medicine now.
Yeah, we have,
Better medicine. We can bring you
know.
back.
we know what infections are now.
That's true. That's true.
Wow.
Antibiotics.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. People still die of knife wounds like all the time. All the time. Yeah, I don't. I just. Yeah, there are things that like both terrify me, and when I see them in a movie, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. And like knife fights are definitely one of them. You know, where I'm just like,
that's cool to watch. I don't want to do that. But that's
oh,
cool
I
to
hope
watch.
this is good. I hope this looks cool. But like, oh, like definite life goal, never be in a knife fight is like definitely in there. It's
I'm with you.
It's in there.
Oh my goodness. All right. I think we cut straight to a safe house that belongs to Daylight.
Yeah.
I will throw some things out here. If you've got some different ideas, I'm not married to mine. My thought is Rory knows where safe house is, and I think it's on the border of District 9, like in a gray zone, right? Maybe, right? So it's not we cross the street and we're in a different district. I think there is some dispute over, is this part of the Barge district? Is it part of this other district? I think it's gray, right? And we have some areas like that here in Kansas City because we border two states. You've got different councils that overlap, and it gets crazy. So I think they kind of have a safe house in a gray, murky area like that. Does that make sense? Is that good?
Yeah.
And I'll let Rory tell us what that front is.
Oh, okay.
Because you've been here before.
Yeah, I know it's here. I think it's like a little like walk up, like food counter kind of place. Like not really a food truck necessarily, but like, you know, it doesn't have inside seating. So there's just like there's like a food counter. You walk up, you get food, but there's a back room.
Gotcha.
Noodles or something.
Right. I think you know all the secret handshakes and the words, and you get everybody in. I think it's a big hall, kind of a staging area wherever they're holding cargo goods. It's big enough to hold a bunch of that type of stuff, but it's kind of cleared out right now. I think they're a handful of Daylight goons that are kind of standing around. They're waiting to bring someone else in to talk to you. Right? They're not. I think some of them know Rory on site. They're familiar with Rory, but I think for the rest, they know not to mess with you, right? There are other folks that will give them the authority to mess with you or not, right? I think you wait for a while. Go ahead.
Does Daylight have like a tattoo or a like something that lets us know that it's them?
Oh, that's nice. I like that. I think there is some type of mark.
Oh.
What do you think, Rory?
I think I've done my best to remove it.
That sounds like a tattoo of some sort or something embedded, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
I'd like to think maybe some type of high-tech tattoo, but I can't imagine what that might be like.
Sure, yeah.
You can make glow in the dark ink now for tattoos.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, for real?
And some that can only be seen in black light.
Right.
I have seen those.
Nice.
So maybe go ahead.
In the, well, I was gonna say in the book, like the section that talks about daylight, they have this like kind of red stylized skull, so it's probably a play on that. So like, yeah, some kind of, you know, embedded skull tattoo-y thing or something.
Nice. I think they make you wait. They make you cool your heels, right? It's not uncomfortable, but they don't bring any chairs, so you're standing 15, 20 minutes. Then there's a rumble, something heavy stepping, coming your way out of the far end of the hall. There's a man, maybe in his late 30s. His hair is in patches, but he's suited up nice, right? Including kind of a rain slicker, right? That's still wet, so he's running from outside or whatever. He's just ahead of whatever it is that's coming in that's heavy, and he runs over to you, and he's catching his breath, and he says, I'm Taki. Whatever you do, don't stare too long. Don't look directly into the glass. No peering. Just keep everything normal. Just be normal. If you got a poker face, just your poker face. Everything's cool, right? You'll be fine. Nobody's going to get hurt today. Okay. And I think he's standing here waiting, and you can see kind of this big silhouette. I'm going to show you an image here. Coming down that dark hall.
Oh, okay.
And one day I'll get these buttons right. He says, "This is Muriel. She will handle your situation. Again, no, just be normal. Be normal. This machine, this thing, comes in as close as it can. Right? It's pretty big. It's pretty heavy. It's a lot of clockwork parts. It seems old, analog, but it moves pretty smooth. Right? It's just heavy, and it seems like it's a little slow.
How big is it? Like, is this human sized? Is it bigger?
Yeah, no, it's bigger than human size,
Okay.
right? I think from floor to the tip, it might be 10 feet tall, easy.
Okay, it was real big.
Yeah.
Cool. Jandon will step up unfazed because I think they're used to walking into situations and like hearing crazy shit and having to keep a poker face. So I think this is not what they've never done anything like this before, where like they're like, be cool. It's a giant robot with somebody in it. But still, they're used to having to keep a poker face when people say wild ass shit in the middle of passionate fights, and I think Jandon was pretty confident that they were going to walk out of here without a problem until that guy came in and started saying like, no one's going to get hurt today. And I was like, I'm not sure. And yeah, I think Jandon will say, we'll step forward. Very much the Holy Order of the Mediators kind of hat on, so to speak. Not a literal hat, but that's the vibe.
Right.
And Jandon will say, Muriel, thank you for meeting with us on such short notice. Several of your several members of your organization broke into our neighbor's house while we were there. We are bringing them back to you a little stunned, but for the most part, a little banged up and bruised, but for the most part, unharmed. We're not asking for any kind of a price. We're just asking them not to come back and bang on our neighbor's door. We don't want to see this escalate.
I think the upper torso of the thing moves a little bit, swings to look at, because you still have all these folks in the barrel, right?
Right. In a wheelbarrow, yeah.
In a wheelbarrow, yeah. And I think for the fiction, I think they're still out, right? I think they're still, right? I don't think they've come around or anything. And I think she moves positions so she can see who's and what's in the barrel. And then she resumes an upright position. And this very melodic, smooth female voice comes out of this iron suit, right? And it says, "That is Haney, Seven's sister."
We hear Seven has a temper. We leave it to you to deal with that.
Is she unharmed?
She's just
I look a little
unconscious.
stunned.
Who did this?
It was me.
You know our ways.
Yeah.
There will be a knife fight.
Oh, fuck. When she says who did this, and you say I did it, you can feel Jen and just be like, why the fuck?
Yeah, there's like internal face palming across the board.
Jen looks over at you like, what the fuck? Like Judd thinks it's awesome.
Yeah.
Jen is like,
Yeah, sure.
sorry. Like, yeah, this is not me backhandedly looking at Jeremiah and being like, why are you playing bad?
No.
This is definitely Jandon like giving you a love.
Right.
I'll look up at Muriel and say, yeah, I do know your ways. And I know knife fights are internal affairs. I don't belong to Daylight anymore.
I was doing you a favor, Rory, for old times. You don't have to knife fight. Seven will come for you.
I would argue that the person who did this is Muriel by breaking into someone's house.
You mean Haney?
Haney, rather. Haney,
Right.
by breaking into someone's house.
Who is your neighbor that was broken into?
It was the tobacco warehouse.
And I think there's a silence and a pause, and it's awkward because that's not what she expects to hear. And it's like she doesn't understand that location, right?
Right.
And she repeats, the tobacco warehouse?
That's correct.
Are there softwalkers there?
Negative.
Then I am sorry. I did not. I am unaware of why the tobacco warehouse was broken into.
Could it be that Haney had seen someone in the tobacco warehouse talk to the softwalkers trying to broker peace and thought that perhaps they were allying with the softwalkers when in fact they weren't? Is that a miscommunication that could have happened that led to this?
That is possible, and I will talk to Haney when she comes around. Who would broker peace?
I will take over that brokerage. I am Jandon.
You would talk to the softwalkers for peace on our behalf.
Yes. It might not be the peace you want, but I will do my best.
I'll accept
What I'm not telling you is that I will get the softwalkers to give up.
Right.
What I am telling you is that I will do my best to broker peace.
And what do you want in exchange?
I want peace.
And
I want Rory taken off. I want you to keep Seven from seeking retribution from Rory until our discussions are over. Rory is a needed asset during these negotiations.
that's all reasonable. She says yes. I can see this done. You have my word.
Thank you. And I think Jandon, like for the first time, looks kind of awkward as they're figuring out: do we shake hands? Do we how do we seal this?
Right. I think she picks up on that, maybe. Right. Like in a weird supernatural kind of way. I think she picks up on this, right? And she says, "Our word is enough.
Yeah,
you will only break your word once to me."
Oh. Great. Jandon nods.
I think she backs up so she can have room to turn. And then without saying goodbye or anything ceremonious like that, she turns and walks off back down the hall, leaving Taki there. I think maybe the members in the wheelbarrow start to stir or whatever. And he says, you.
We're out of here.
Right. He exhales like that. He says, "Nobody got hurt today. Thank you. I will be your contact."
Yeah, I'll turn to Dingan and say quietly, what can you tell me about that the mechanics of what just walked in here? What Muriel was wearing?
Yeah. Aster's like really, really interested in this.
I thought she might be.
Yeah, she's like been staring at this thing, like, so like she got the blank stare really good because she's like, you could see wheels turning. How did that work? Did you take it? But yeah.
So like Blades in the Dark, I'm looking, but I'm pretty sure it works the same way. There is a gather information. And you can do that right now. And I will tell you some things.
Try to push yourself.
I just had it and I lost it.
You okay there?
Yep, just a little hiccup. So, was there actually somebody in that thing, or did it look like it was fully autonomous?
Oh yeah, no, there's somebody in that thing.
Okay.
In fact, in the image, I think I can bring it back up. I thought it should be in the journal entries, and you should be able to open it at any time. But in there is a. Here, I'll just push it back out because it's sitting right here for me. So yeah, there's that big circular
portal.
Yeah. So there's like a glass opening there, right? And you can see inside.
Gotcha.
What I want to know is, did you look?
Oh, I think I did when I looked up to be like, yeah, I know your ways. This knife fight's bullshit because I'm not in daylight. So like I I don't care what Taki said. I looked up at where the face would be.
Nice. Yes. So in there, you can see a figure. The face, the head is like an old woman, right? Like a grandma old woman, right? But the body is kind of shriveled up, and it's got all kinds of mechanisms and tubes and things, and harnessed in place in the shell of the thing. But it's positioned so the head is kind of prominent in that portal.
Okay. So I feel like I've seen something like that in Final Fantasy.
I need to play more Final Fantasy. Elden Ring is kicking my butt still right now, but yes. But yeah, it's an elderly woman. So when I say old woman, I'm like great grandma, right?
Yeah.
She's in there, right?
Yeah.
And her body's pretty much, like I said, the from the torso down is kind of shriveled and
Yeah, interesting.
is the word emaciated? Is that the word? I think that's
the word.
Yeah. I was gonna say that, or atrophied, maybe.
Yes, atrophied. I like that. Yes, it's atrophied. Everything else is so much shell, ceramics, and dingens. Yeah.
I'll kind of like whisper under my breath to Jandon and be like, so we're gonna get our wheelbarrow back? Or are we just gonna let it keep it? They're waking up. They started to wake up. Should we?
On the
Actually, you
one
know
hand,
what?
I can't believe you're worried about the wheelbarrow. On the other hand, I can totally believe you're worried about the wheelbarrow.
I mean, I'm keeping the stunner, so I guess we could call it even.
Yeah. You do have the stunner.
I'm writing that down.
Nice.
It's probably not like anything special, but I like the idea that specifically I have hers.
Unless you have anything else, I would cut back to the crossroads, the tobacco warehouse.
Yeah. I just wanted to know what Dingen could tell about the mechanics of that thing. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
I would love to see that roll happen.
Yes.
Oh.
That feels like an examine.
Action roll. Is it just a fort? No, it could be a fortune roll.
Yeah, there's a gather information.
Yeah, there's usually something.
And there's because it's not a fortune roll, but I think it behaves kind of like that because you get.
Are we looking up rules? Is that in the
I
actual
don't find
play?
anything specific.
Yes, we are looking up rules. Yeah, there's a very specific because it's not that. Yeah, it's not an action roll where you could.
For example, a gather information. Okay. I'll make it so there's a section under making a fortune roll. It says use an action to determine the success when there isn't risk. For example, a gather information attempt with no obstacle or danger.
Okay.
So you set up a dice pool for fortune roll using any appropriate trait reading.
I'm seeing scrounge is good for gathering information when you don't exactly know what you're looking for. It can be a superb setup for the tinker action. But I could see tinker being what.
Yeah, tinker or examine, I think.
Right. I agree.
Because I feel like it's not so much the examination; it's like understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
There it is.
What you're looking at.
Yeah, on 97, it could be an action roll or fortune roll, but there's no opposition here, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll go with the fortune roll. Set the dice pool for a fortune roll using any appropriate trait rating, so you get to decide. There's no risk.
I can offer help by describing what I saw, assuming nobody else actually looked, but I did. So.
Oh yeah, she totally looked.
Okay.
she couldn't have stopped herself if she wanted to. There was a mech walking toward. Yeah, there was no question.
Yeah. I think Taki was wound a little tight. So.
And a 3 and a 1.
All right. So I think when you're looking, at some point, you and Muriel, Asta and Muriel, lock eyes. So she sees you looking at her, right? Studying her, right? But everything plays out like it plays out, right? But you guys have that moment. She's ancient, right? She's old in there. There's a lot of clockwork Dingan material, but there's some stuff that predates Dingans in there. In the actual chamber that she's in, right? All the movement parts, the locomotion, the legs, everything on the exterior parts, right? Those are hard parts or Dingans, but a lot of the stuff that's in there where she is, that's maintaining her health, keeping her alive, keeping that environment in there. It's a mix of Dingan and something else.
Interesting.
She, if she's got kids, she could easily be somebody's great grandmother. I had a big mom, and she was like 2 greats. That was it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I had 2 greats.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I only ever met my great grandma.
For that matter, when my daughter was born, she had 2 greats.
Oh wow.
So.
Because there's a picture of 5 generations. God.
Nice.
But that's what you got.
So pre-Dingan technology.
Huh.
Huh.
I like that sound.
Yeah, I mean, Asta's impressed. It's like,
and for the folks at home who have AState, that's in the book. There's stuff in the book. I didn't make that up. It's in there.
Yeah. I didn't know what Dingans were, so I was looking that up. Dingans are everywhere in the city. Calculating, processing, directing information. They are resistant to radiation, extreme temperatures, and water damage. Their reliance on physical inputs means they cannot be easily targeted by malicious programming. Some are produced in huge factories. Others are painstakingly constructed by hand. Dingans generally come in 3 scales: macro, micro, and nano.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and this contraption is a series of Dingans and parts, right?
Makes sense.
Right.
To make it happen, to make it work.
I think you're gonna see Asta like running back home and like sketching what she thinks was going on there. So while it's fresh in her head.
Nice. I like it. I think back at the crossroads, Omar is cleaning up when you guys return, right? He's got everything almost put back together. But he stops and he says, "Hey, I'm sorry about the firearm. Can I keep it? Is that cool?"
We are so American. Like, we are just so American. Like, we can't even take away a fictional gun from a fictional person. Like, we can't. So George Washington said you could have it. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think
it's not even that. It's the, wait, you have a gun if I try to take your gun, what are you going to do to me? More
He's a-
than
he's a friend.
you can have a gun.
Friend. I mean, my
Well,
thought
so-
was more, it's not a bad backup plan, even though that thing's going to bring everybody within 3 blocks.
Right.
That's going to be loud. Like,
Right.
that is.
So I think really
that's a-
he's
that's a last
worried.
resort.
Right. He's worried that you might turn him in. Right. Because he's not supposed to have it.
Oh.
Right. You saw how close he was to using it, so you know, right?
He's
He's
a
got
little-
no qualms about it.
That's true. He's a little trigger happy. We might, yeah.
We're not going to narc you out, Omar, but that's a sentence I'm glad I got to say in my life. But you did flash it in front of a bunch of daylighters, and they are not known for their subtlety.
You might relocate it at the very least.
Well said, Rory.
And you know, maybe think twice about pulling it out first thing.
All right. I'll move it.
Seems like a good plan.
All right. That's all I have. Unless
pretty
you
much time.
folks have something. Yeah, that's time. Yeah. I think we have a brokering mission
Yeah.
next session, right?
Awesome.
We
I
can
wish
talk.
I wish there were more like cheat sheets for this game.
Well, so for me, getting the first game on the table and out there helps me
Yeah.
figure out what to prep and what cheat sheets to make and what stuff I need to get my head around. The first game is rough for new games, but I know I got to get it done so then I can figure out how to improve on
Mission
it.
types. Yeah, I was looking for the mission types. Oh, broker is literally. That's pretty awesome.
And we'll probably talk in the Slack about setting that up. But yeah, I think that's the mission, right? And you get to decide how you want to go about doing that, brokering some pieces.
Cool. Yeah, I think like as everybody's going to sleep tonight, John Din's definitely like picking Asta's brain about like who's a Dingan Smith who could make like who could stick someone in a Dingan like that and like create that kind of thing. I mean, that's just not one thing. That's like probably a couple dozen Dingans all working together. And
more than that, I mean, they got to interface with like the ancient technology, which is like I know like maybe 2 people who could possibly do that, maybe, but even that I think is probably pushing. I'd know more if I could take it apart or at least actually examine it, as opposed to just like staring at it from afar.
That's probably not going to happen.
But that's not going to happen, I don't think. I mean, I wouldn't even want to suggest it because, hey, it sounds rude because, hey, excuse me, may I take apart your body? Just not a thing that I try not to say that because people say I'm rude when I say that. But also, I'm not sure what would happen if I did. Like, would the person inside survive? Right. I mean, it looks like it's essentially a really complicated life support and exoskeleton.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was keeping.
Doubt you could separate the two and still have it work. And I don't know if I could fit anybody else that size in there. I mean, probably maybe fit somebody a child size in there, but
yeah, she might
sounds
be
like a bad idea.
4 feet and some inches now, right? She may have been taller before, but with the atrophy, who knows?
Osteoporosis.
Yeah. Yes.
If
Not
we
to
were,
mention, I don't know how much of that's like neurally interfaced and how many nano ones are in there, and it's not Yeah.
If we were brought to the shiniest part of the city, to the highest skyscraper of the most, well-to-do corporation, and the CEO met us, and we found out that they were in a thing like that,
Right.
it would make sense to me. But I did
Right.
not expect to see that in a daylight safe house.
Right.
And with a bunch of thugs who are known for firebombing first and asking questions later. Like, it
creates a lot of questions.
I mean, on the one hand, it could be that person inside was once one of those people on that Shining Hill, and they just managed to keep it maintained this long.
And they're middle management in a gang now.
Right, middle management, right? This is not the daylight boss.
Everybody, look, age discrimination is a thing.
That's true.
There's always young people trying to scrabble their way back up.
Yeah. This sounds like the perfect opportunity for downtime projects.
Mm-hmm.
Long-term project, learn about the weird Mac.
For some reason, I imagine
Gundam.
I imagine trying to figure out where that thing walks and setting up a mirror underneath it so that Astra can get
or just drones that are taking pics.
Like some little tiny drones, drones, dinging drones.
Nice. We're already thinking about downtime projects. I like it.
Because we're nerds.
Nice. Let's go around the horn and tell everybody where we can find you out on the social internets, and then we'll sign off. Let's start with you, Misha.
I'm Misha B. I make incredibly silly and weird.
Nice.
So this was the latest, or actually I've completed a couple other things since then. That's part of the weird Afro-Victorian dress project that's ongoing. I think it's on Instagram. I know it's on Facebook and Twitter. But you can find me on Twitter as BG Gameworks. And my website is Black Girl Gameworks. And I do things that are actually game related too. That's just those are longer term and less flashy and harder to document publicly. So yeah, that's it. How about you, Judd?
It's all game related if you try hard enough.
Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't game related. I was like, that's not for a LARP, really?
No, that's just it. I don't actually have anywhere to wear it yet.
Okay,
I just assumed you did. Yeah.
No, I had a weird hair up my ass that I wanted to do it, and so I did.
There you go.
Also,
so I now have to find a place to wear it.
That's awesome. Hey, I'm Judd. You can find me at my blog mostly, which is called Githyanki Diaspora. And if you put those search terms in, you should pretty much get to my blog. I've got a podcast called Daydreaming About Dragons. And if you use those search terms, you'll probably get to my podcast, or you might find people who want to have carnal relations with dragons. It's going to be a scrapshoot. It's going to be God bless, but
do not search that on AO3. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying, take care what you search for at work is all I'm saying. And either way, you'll find me. I'm on Twitter. But if you get to my blog or get to my podcast, you'll get to the rest of it. Yeah. How about you, Jeremiah?
I don't have anything quite as fancy as all that, but you can find me on Twitter at pseudo idiot. I don't have projects or blogs or anything.
But you play games. That's enough.
But I play games. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Trying to play all the games I can.
Nice.
I'm Matt J. I'm the host of the Diceology podcast. You can find me on Twitter at MattJ0. And I'm running a Kickstarter. So if you like people with superpowers, Lifted is still live on Kickstarter for the next 10 days. I think I need about $1,000, and we're funded. So
Oh snap!
yeah, I'm close. Yeah, I'm super
Yeah.
close. So
That's
we
like
will be.
10
Go ahead.
people putting in $100, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And we got 10 people in the chat right now. Give me your money. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Next week is HUD Cartel with Rich Rogers.
Oh yeah.
Yes. We'll all be here, but Jed will be Rich, and Rich will be running the show, and then we'll be playing Star Wars. So there it is. Yeah.
And I'm inspired by your Kickstarter. I am looking up to see if my local library has DP7 graphic novels.
Yeah, that hit harder than I thought. I was just running through inspirations, and a lot of folks grabbed onto DP7 like I did. And so
of the new universe stuff, like that was the one that I remember liking, and I don't remember anything about it. So I really want to go back and read it because I don't think I've looked at it since I'm 13 years old. But I remember that was the one that I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
Of the new universe things. Yeah.
No, I agree. That one, Starbrand had me, but that was kind of a solo introspective Superman to me at the time, right? But DP7 was normal folks. They check themselves into this clinic to check out their paranormal stuff, but the clinic is on the dirty side, and yeah, it was good stuff. So
awesome.
All right. Thank you guys for playing. I will see you folks in 2 weeks. We'll see everyone else in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.